Well, I think they should vote their heart. And if they believe Tara Reade, they probably shouldn't vote for me. I wouldn't vote for me if I believed Tara Reade.
That was presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden saying, hey, if you believe Tara Reade, don't vote for me. Why? Why would you tell people not to vote for you? Okay, so now this happened on MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell, and it was a response to a question, of course, that a lot of women are having on the left, a lot of survivors. If you're a survivor of sexual assault, could you vote for somebody who has been credibly accused of sexual assault? Now, for me personally, I can't answer that question. I'm not a survivor, right? So I don't know. And that's really, up to the person who is voting. But now Biden, he's like, yeah, it is up to you. Don't vote. Don't vote for me. Vote for somebody else. So now he's going to go on and make a strong denial, of course, to try to probably save face from that. Let's listen.
Look at Tara Reade's story. It changes considerably. And so, but I don't want to question her motive. I don't want to question anything other than to say the truth matters. This is being vetted. It's been vetted. They went and people interviewed scores of my employees over my whole career. This is just totally, thoroughly, completely out of character. And the idea that in a public place, in a hallway, I would assault a woman. Anyway, I promise you, it never happened. It should be vetted. She should be thoroughly looked at, and whether or not these happen, look at the story, follow the storyline, and determine whether there's any truth to it. And there is no truth to it, I promise you.
All right, so what we're going to see, right? And hopefully we do have a non-biased, nonpartisan investigation that does find out the truth. Now, that said, I've looked at her story, and I believe that there's a lot of corroborating evidence, and I do believe her. And so, look, some of that evidence, of course, is her mother calling into Larry King years and years ago, telling her family and friends and neighbors that it had happened, complaining to her superiors, that's Biden staffers, who, look, for some reason they can't recall this. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because their jobs are on the line here. And then her getting removed after making those complaints. You've got interns recalling that she had been pulled from the job. And so here you have some evidence of retaliation. And there's more evidence, too, likely of a complaint. Now, she said she made a complaint. They said they can't find it. But if she did make one, it would be in the records of the University of Delaware. Fortunately, those records are sealed. So we can't get to them. So we can't literally look in to see if there is a formal complaint to your office about sexual assault, sexual harassment. And so aside from all of that, it's interesting that he's saying, don't vote for me. In a way, it is kind of refreshingly honest, but also it's not very smart politically when you need leftist voters. Those are the people who are more likely to believe Tara Reade. Now, I'm not talking about voters like those in the right wing, right, who are never going to vote for Biden, who are never going to vote for a Democrat. Maybe would have voted for Bernie, right? But I'm not talking about the people who suddenly pretend to care about women, but didn't when it came to Kavanaugh. So I hate the hypocrisy from both sides, right? And I've been consistent on believing women unless there's a good reason not to. And I haven't seen a reason not to in this case. I know there are people like Putin, right? Yet she was incredibly naive about Russia. Yes, she talked about that. That has nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing to do with this. And so, look, as far as, she can't remember the exact date and time when it happened. Well, a lot of survivors can't recall the exact date and time of their assault as well. And a lot of people, don't come out, especially if that person is incredibly powerful. That's sometimes why it takes so long for people to come out. Not only that, but if they had respect for that person, which she did, she worked for him, literally, it got to be, it probably got to be a lot to process. I'm sure there were a lot of conflicting feelings in this. But Look, again, Biden has a history of touching women, right? Uncomfortably touching women, especially on camera, which is, it doesn't mean it's proof positive that, of course, he sexually assaulted this woman, but it does show that he's more than happy to violate the personal space of women around him. And maybe, like, in his case, he's like, oh, no, what are you talking about? This is what we do. I don't mean any harm. Well, it is harmful. You can't just get into the personal space of women. You can't do that. All that said, I'm not sure if I can vote for Biden. Yes, I'm not the people that he's talking about, but I'm not sure I could vote for him. But I'm also not saying that I won't vote for him either, just to get Donald Trump out. So progressives, I mean, we're in an impossible situation. Your choice is vote for an alleged sexual predator or a worse sexual predator. I'm not going to ask these people to choose. I'm not going to ask anybody to choose. I mean, if I can't, how am I supposed to ask anybody else? So, I mean, that's the situation that we're in. And I guess it's probably a good thing that Biden's not asking you to choose either. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know how I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.